Someone got stuck in my head, and that's why my slide had just 2 pointers. That's it.
So if you want to call me, ring twice and hang up. That's it. I think they figured that out though. So we'll tell you what it's about. And a gentleman here named Chad, who just graduated from school about 2 years ago, started a company right out of his undergraduate here. He's going to tell you what he did and how Ring Knockers, an organization like this, would have helped him. So I'd say about a half an hour of us talking, maybe about 20 minutes or so of Chad, and then we're going to break up and talk about, we're going to break up into groups, okay? So we're not going to have a classroom project, but we're going to set some expectations for you, and then we'll break up into groups, get to know each other, and talk about how to meet those expectations. Occasionally I'll stop and ask if there's any questions, but not right now, okay? So let's go ahead and let's go to the next slide, please, and we'll talk about what's on the next slide. Okay, we'll do the introductions. I've already told you who I am. Just a little more, I teach here, and I've been doing about 30 years of software engineering. Work for big companies, small companies, startup companies, contractor, director of engineering, engineering management, that type of stuff. So that's my background. So why don't we just go right down the list here and introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name's Ed. I'm sure you guys all saw my email. Spam here. I've been working about 8 years. I graduated with my master last year in software. I work for Oracle in a business unit called communications. What we do is basically build the next generation of enterprise software for telecommunications.
Hello everybody, my name is Franklin Davis. I've met several of you guys either in class or tonight. I got my master's here at Santa Clara in engineering and management. I work in the medical device industry. I'm an operations manager there this morning, and then at night I started a company with a company called Smack, which we'll probably talk about later on as well. And I'm very excited to be here with all of you guys tonight.
Muhammad is not here, so
yeah, I'm not Mohammed, by the way. Yeah, well, nice to meet everyone. I'm glad to see all of you out here. My name is Sidney Chan. I work over at a local semiconductor company. You guys might know. It's called Intersil Corporation, and I'm currently a product line manager there. I've been working there for about almost 6 years, and currently I'm still pursuing my master's here at Santa Clara, so I'm recognize a few of you in the crowd. But anyway, nice to meet you, and I'd like to meet you out there.
So they misspelled my name, is Superman. My name is Vigesh. The concept of Ring Knocker started just about a couple of weeks ago when a few of us were sitting, and actually we expected only 20 people to show up. And I definitely think there's more than 20 here. Very excited about it. My background, engineering, worked at very big companies, left and started 3 startups. This is my 3rd one. So far been successful, and that's me. Zoltan.
Okay, now it's my turn. So my name is Zoltan, and I'm the VP of Engineering at a software company here in medical software. The company's name is Armis Corporation. I also graduated from Santa Clara with a master's degree in the software engineering program, and I have an MBA from Berkeley.
Okay. Thanks. Let's go to the next. Okay. You know, where you go and who you know is really valuable. You know that. So you want to go to the right schools, and the right school, you get that on your resume. Like I say, if you go to Stanford, you're on scholarship for life. Anybody go to Stanford? Anybody? I want to check if that's true or not. Okay, so you're on scholarship for life. Doors open up. My brother's a lawyer. He's even older than I am. And I asked him, what type of questions do you ask your people when they come in for the interview for the legal position? He goes, oh, I ask them what school they went to. I said, how many years into their career do you ask them this? He says, 30, 40 years into their career. I want to know what school they went into. So it's important to go to the right school with the right name. You all know that. But it's even more important, I think. When I was in high school, I went to a public school back in Illinois, and a lot of my friends went to the Ivy League schools. And I remember the dad says, your school is just as good as those Ivy League schools. It's just my son's going to be making connections that he can use the rest of his life to advance his career and whatever else he's into. So that's the importance of the school you go into. You want a named school, but you also want an alumni. And I think one of the basic problems here in this school is the Graduate School of Engineering doesn't have a strong alumni association, outside of maybe getting something in the mail and coming together for a drink or a barbecue once in a while. But I don't really think that we're working together to help each other's careers. So that's what we're doing here tonight. So it's where you went to school and the people you meet there that are really going to help you with your career if you actively work at it. You just can't sit back and expect everybody else to help you. Next slide, please. So, does anybody know what without having been told by me tonight, does anybody know what a ring knocker is? Who's heard? No, I knew Sam would know. Sam knows every little bit of trivia of American culture, right? It's just amazing. Okay, Sam, what's a ring knocker?
It's a graduate of a service academy. Officers who look at everybody, they look for the ring knockers, West Point,
Yeah.
Air Force Academy, and then they just gather together, and those are the ones who usually get promoted to the higher ranks.
Yeah, they go for the job interview, and somebody across from you went to, let's say, Stanford, and you got your Stanford ring on. You just show them a Stanford ring, and you knock it on the table, and you're in. Same thing, that's all the military. You go to one of the military academies, and the rest of your life, you just keep showing the general, the colonel you're talking to that you, too, are part of the club. So that's where the term ring knockers came from. And basically, again, the point is we, as fellow alumni, have to work together to help each other out in the career. Not just today, but as the years go on. There was a gentleman in one of my classes I asked, are you coming to this meeting? He says, no, I'm not. I don't need a job now. He already has one. And he didn't get it. Okay, he thought it was, well, I'll just come here because I need a job and then walk out the door and never come back together. This is something, you need a job now, maybe somebody else needs a job and he could help you find it. And next time, 5 years down the road, it's his turn. So this, of course, now, more than one person must know where all for one and one for all comes from. Does anybody else? Go ahead.
Friends.
Yeah, it's the Three Musketeers, okay? That's their motto, all for one and one for all, and that's what our motto is. You're here to help everybody else, and everybody else is here to help you. Now, I know it sounds like, you know, I don't know what's the right word, godmotherhood and apple pie, but no, we're engineers. We need to make this work. So it's nice to have these platitudes, it's nice to have these ideas, but we got to put something together to make it work, and that's what this group is here to create that framework. Next slide, please. Okay, why is SCU unique? It's a rhetorical question. I want to ask for answers here. Well, we really, really are unique. And I don't know if any other college, university in the world has what we have here. Because in most cases, most people relocate to this valley to work or are already born here. Okay? Then when they go to school, they don't relocate after they graduate back to where they came from. Most people stay in the valley. You can't say that about the Ivy League schools. You can't say that about the Big Ten schools. You can't say that about any schools, really. Because the people leave after they get there and they spread out all over the world. So what we have here, we have critical mass that the other schools and the other alumni groups don't. We have people here, I wouldn't even care to guess, there must be about 60 people in here. I hope I won the bet tonight. I drink for free for a week, that was the winner, whoever gets to estimate the right number of people. But we have people here spread out over dozens of industries and dozens of companies. So if we can't help each other, if one industry's down or another company's down, then why can't we help somebody in this group find another job? Not only that, as we go through here, there's other opportunities here that we'll talk about. So that's why we're unique. I don't know of any other school in the world that has this uniqueness about it. To be located in a field, in an industry, in a valley like this, with people from all over the world who come here and stay. Can we go to the next slide, please? So your contribution, this is what we're going to ask for you, not money. That may come later. The first two meetings, the dean said he'd pay for the pizza, but if we have a third meeting, then pizza's going to be charged for it. Maybe we can even get beer at that point. But what we're going to ask you to do, these are just ideas. And what we're going to do, we want you to start thinking about it now, because at the end of my particular talk, or Chad's talk actually, we are going to break down into groups, and we're going to ask each person to come up with something that they can contribute to this program here. When I told this story earlier. For those of you who have been in my classes, you know I always got to tell stories. I always stray all over the place, and you've heard them a couple of times. When I was in college, my landlord was actually a hobo, one of those guys that rode the rails during the Depression. And he made something called hobo stew once a year. It was delicious. And basically what it was, whatever he had in the refrigerator, and whatever his friends had, they put it in a big pot and cooked it. And that was the same thing with the hobos. Again, those hobo camps, whatever you had would go into a pot. So I'd like to use that analogy here to explain this hobo stew. We expect everybody to give us something, to give the group something. And these are just some of the ideas that we ran across. I won't read them to you. We're going to walk you through some of them. But you have to actively engage in this. Even if you don't need anything from this group now, you should still contribute, because one day you will need something from this group. So we're trying to build that long-term view of this. Now, pardon me? Yeah, and we're going to start buying these if this actually takes off. So can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so I'm going to turn this over to Zoltan. Many of you were asked to do a survey, and he will give you the results of that survey. Are both of these mine?
Thanks, Ray.
This one has more.
Yeah. So as you can see, these are the survey results, and thanks very much to all of you who filled it out, and also thank you very much for coming. There is a couple of striking numbers on here for me. One was the median years of work experience, which happens to be 8 years, and I don't know if you're familiar with some of the latest writings of Mr. Malcolm Gladwell, but in Outliers, he has this chapter on the 10,000 hour rule. And the 10,000 hour rule states that in any field, for you to be good at it and actually be able to become a world-class expert in anything, you need to have about 10,000 hours of experience. And so if you add that up, that comes out to the vicinity of 8 years of work with 8-hour days for a number of years. And so that's, I think, another thing that's very unique about Santa Clara is that a lot of people in this audience, some of the alumni who came today, are just at the verge of, sort of logging that first 10,000 hours and really becoming very good at what they do. The other striking number here is 24% marketing. And so I'm assuming that a lot of you are graduates of the engineering school here, and but there is still 25% of marketing. And so for those of you who are in marketing, you guys are the scarce resource in the group. And so the engineers will probably come to you for ideas on some of these things. We also asked you guys to rank some of your interests. And so as you're thinking about the contributions that you'll be making and that you'll come up with during this meeting tonight, you now understand who the audience is, and this is why the audience is here. We asked you guys to rank some of your interests on what would be interesting to you, and so we ranked those results. And so, you ranked the results effectively. And so if you're thinking as you're thinking what it is that I can contribute to this group, think about the audience and think about their interest levels. And so one other thing as you're digesting this, item number 1 on this list is networking. And so I'd like to turn that back to Ray, who will talk about networking.
Okay, let's see what this next slide says. Oh, networking. All right, so we all know what networking is. I mean, you're supposed to come to meetings like this and talk to people you haven't talked to before. Okay, not just the same people you've seen before. Because somebody out here has a, it's one of those, I can connect the dot to somebody else. Maybe this one person next to you just can't help you, but they know somebody. So you have to get out there and let people know who you are. And we have the LinkedIn, and we want everybody's picture on there too, right? It's one of the things we're going to talk about. So we have this LinkedIn account, we want it to be active. So it's the networking. So that's one of the things we want to do here, and it's for the jobs, and we'll talk about the jobs. I don't know if the slide is coming up. How to post a job, how to apply for a job, and what have you. So let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over right now, but I do want to make a last minute addition to what we're going to talk about. I want to run this idea past the folks. So what we want here, just give me 1 second on this. We talked about this before. What we want is somebody, let's say I work at Cisco and I post a job at Cisco. I don't want 100 resumes coming at me, okay? I only want resumes coming at me where people feel they're really qualified for the job. So one of the things that we'll talk about this some more, we may change this. Post your resume, and we'll talk about the details, but I'd like to see a 5 bullets why you're qualified for this job. Because if I'm a Cisco guy, again, I don't want to have to wade through your resume only to find out you're really not qualified. So let's work on that. So again, we have to trust each other as brothers and sisters on this, not to take advantage of each other, not to waste each other's time on this. But if you feel you're really qualified, 5 bullets ought to explain it, okay? So we'll talk about that a little more, but I'll turn this over right now. Walk you through the entire process. Thanks.
So I hope you guys understand that jobs and networking is very important. This is how I got my first job for being a Santa Clara student. How my best friend got his job and how my sister got her job. All Santa Clara alumni. So there's 3 things you can do if you have a job that you want to offer to your fellow ring knockers. The first thing, you post it on LinkedIn. There's a job tab right here. So this is one that I got from somebody.
Anywhere on LinkedIn or just SCU Ring Knocker?
SCU Ring Knocker group, there's a tab on same job right there. You can see. So it's very simple. So you just put the job title and the description of what it is. The second thing you can do if you want to remain anonymous, send it to us, let me know. The third thing is bring a printout or post it on LinkedIn and show us in the next meeting. Are we clear? So if you're looking for a job, the first thing you have to do, like Ray said, update your profile and put a picture on it. So as much as I like to remember everybody's name, faces is so much better to remember than names. So I also bet everybody's profile, believe it or not. The other thing is, you can use the same tab for jobs that you want. Like, you can say, I'm looking for a job in 3D design, for example. This is what I'm looking for, my qualifications. If anybody has something from these, they will reply to you. Okay. One important thing is, let's say you found a job posted in Cisco or something, and you don't want to post. You want somebody to send you a resume. So it's very easy. You just have to search under the LinkedIn group, Cisco. They should have a whole bunch of people popped up with Cisco experience. Feel free to ask them. And that's one of the key points is, if somebody calls me and asks for help from the Ring Knockers, I say, how can I help you? I hope you guys can all do that.
Oh, wait. Okay, because let me add to this, okay, because this is one of the key ones. Let me add a little more to it. See, you're looking for a job. You see that there's a job at Cisco, or you can see that we have people here working at Cisco, and you go to the Cisco job site, you go through their jobs, you see 3 or 4 recs that you think you can apply for, and at that point, we want you to contact one of the Cisco guys in this group with your resume, with the rec number, and 3 to 5 bullets why you're qualified for it, right? Is that what we're talking about here? Okay, so everybody got that? This is important. All right, and hopefully, the underlying thing is, we talked about this, companies are now, or will in the future, start giving signing bonuses or whatever, what do you call that thing when you recruit somebody? Recruiting bonus.
Referral.
Referral bonus, so it's to your benefit if you're at Cisco to get a steady stream of people in there, okay? All right, and for every $1,000 you give, we have to donate $100 to the beer fund, but I think that's tax deductible since we're a nonprofit organization. Okay, but that's a critical one too. It's not just what's posted here. You got to go do a little work, but you have an in at Cisco if you can make a solid case for why you're qualified for that job. Okay, so I like the special interest groups. I'll go back to the start. I just got done with the contract with Cisco. So, anybody from Cisco here? You're still okay. So let's say you're a router guy, and there's 6 other router guys in this group. Guys or guyettes. Guyettes is a feminine for guys. And you can join together and say, why aren't you talking to each other about what's going on at work, the new technologies coming down the pike, the problems you see technically? Why don't you, how do you continue to learn once you're outside of the university? It's kind of hard to learn on your own. You don't have that engine of other people sharing ideas and things that they've read. So start a special interest group, get 3 or 4 other people in it, pick a book to read, pick a magazine article to read, and like a book club, meet once a month to talk about what you read, what you thought, what you're learning at work. And eventually, I got to believe that out of these SIG groups, we're going to have people coming in with ideas for a startup company. They're going to put 2 and 2 together. So that's what I'm kind of hoping happens in this SIG group. But I think the SIG group is an excellent way to continue to learn with a group of people and to make contacts in your particular slice of the industry. All right? A deeper contact than just on LinkedIn. So that's what we need. And we need people to volunteer what SIG groups you want to have, and we'll see who will join you and who can manage it and what have you. Okay? All right. Next slide, please. So starting a company. Vigesh, please.
Thank you, Ray. First, I would actually like to take a few seconds and thank some of the